please come forward, and you going on behalf of Walton Empowers.
So, hello, can you hear me? Hello, everybody. My name is Kathy Beto, and I am the program director of Walton Empowers in Monroe, Georgia, and we are an addiction recovery support center. We're a nonprofit, and I am here tonight to share an update on the $638 million in state opioid funds. Our county is one of the 11 regional advisory councils. Each region will receive a percentage of these funds. It's a complex process. It is important our community and our county is participating within our regional council to ensure that we receive some of these funds. It is also important that as the committee is formed in our regional advisory council, that there be a peer, someone like me, someone who is in long-term recovery, and someone who has and has survived the disease of addiction, and a family member who has lost a loved one to the disease of addiction. I'm here to ask that our Board of Commissioners, our county attorney, and our county manager meet with us, if possible, in the next few days or whenever it's convenient, to further discuss these important matters. There will be a total of 11 regions. 6 of the regions will match the DBHDD regions map. Cobb, DeKalb, Fulton, Gwinnett, and the City of Atlanta will make up the other 5 regions. At this point, there is not much clarity on how the regions will allocate their money and/or who will be a part of the decision-making process at the regions level. The regions are setting up regional advisory councils. The councils will determine how the funds are spent. They are required to have 3 to 7 members per RAC. The 3 positions that are required are 1, the executive team member of a community service board, 2, a member of the Board of Health, and the 3rd will be a sheriff. Each RAC will decide if they want to add others to the list. This money will come through you to us. You will guide it. You will send it out, decide where it goes and how it goes. The categories of expenses are 1, the naloxone or other FDA-approved drugs to reverse opioid disorders or overdoses. 2, medication-assisted treatment distribution and other opioid-related treatment. 3, pregnant and postpartum women. 4, expanding treatment for the neonatal abstinence syndrome. 5, expansion of warm handoff programs and recovery services. 6, treatment for incarcerated population. 7, prevention of programs. 8, expanding syringe service programs. And 9, evidence-based data collection and research analyzing the effectiveness of the abatement strategies within the state of Georgia. There are 4 areas of recommendation. The first is prevention, the prevention recommendation. Number 1 is to track, encourage, and support the effective utilization of new substance misuse prevention funding and resources in Georgia. 2 is implement awareness and education to prevent youth initiation of substance use. 3, increase statewide public awareness of substance misuse prevention and the opioid epidemic. And 4, the implement education and awareness to help prevent drug overdose deaths. The next one is treatment recommendations. 1 is increase access to treatment services for individuals with opioid use disorder, with specific focus on MAT and other evidence-based practices and involvement. 2 is increase access to treatment services and strategies for early diversion for individuals with OUD who are incarcerated or who have criminal justice. The next and the third, recovery recommendations. 1, increase access to recovery support services for individuals with opioid use disorder. 2, encourage employer policies and hiring practices that will support individuals and recovery, obtaining and maintaining employment. 3, increase access to safe and stable housing in addition to community-based supports. 4, reduce barriers to accessing and using insurance for individuals in recovery. And the last would be harm reduction recommendations. And that is 1, expand the availability of naloxone and other FDA-approved drug or to reverse opioid overdoses. 2, to expand syringe exchange and fentanyl test strips distribution programs. And 3, to reduce overdose deaths and promote linkages to care. Thank you guys for letting me come here tonight and share this with you, this update. All of this will be coming through your offices. If it hasn't already, it may have. So we just want to reach out and let you know that we are the only addiction recovery support center in this community, in this county. And we're reaching out and trying to touch the lives of as many individuals as we can to support them in their path to recovery. We go everywhere from households to jails to defects to, we do all kinds of a variety of things, but we need funding. And we just want you to think about that and remember us when you do form your committee, that you may, it doesn't have to be someone from our organization, just someone and a family member. That's one of the main things. The family members are the ones that are affected so deeply by the death of their children with opioid use disorder. And 100,000 died last year. That's a lot of people for one substance. So if you have any questions, you can reach me. You can call me at Walton & Powers. I have business cards if you want them. Most of you have already gotten emails from me, so you know basically who I am. Now you've met me, so if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me.
Thank you. Okay. We appreciate that, and it is a severe problem, and there's been some from the drug company settlements coming through that we have forwarded on to EMS and stuff. I think it's Narcan and stuff, and it has saved lives on it. The other must be up and coming. All right, thank you. We're going to open our meeting with Pledge of Allegiance and invocation. If everyone would stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we come to you tonight with an open mind and an open heart. Please watch over us and help each one of us to make the best decisions for the county. Father, please be with all the turmoil in our country and abroad, and keep all our countrymen safe. Please be with each one tonight that goes home and keep them safe. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And before I do the official call to order, I want to make an announcement. Everybody should know this. We are in an extreme drought. Please, no burning outside until we get a little rain. It's a tinderbox out there, and we're asking everyone to refrain from burning until we get some moisture back here. All right, I call the meeting to order, and the roll call looks like we have 100% attendance. We can make a notation of that. Adoption of the agenda. You've had a chance to look at the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions? If not, I entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. We have a motion.
I'll second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. And we're happy to announce we have three proclamations to adopt this month, and we're going to start off with the National Adoption Month. This proclamation: whereas families have always stood at the center of our society, preserving good and worthy traditions from our past and entrusting those traditions to our children, our greatest hope for the future. At a time when many fear that the family is in decline, it is fitting that we give special recognition to those who are rebuilding families by promoting adoption. And whereas Walton County recognizes the critical importance of helping children find permanent, safe, and loving families through adoption. In Georgia, there are more than 11,100 children in the foster care system. Nationwide, there are more than 123,000 foster children waiting for their forever families. And whereas November is recognized as National Adoption Awareness Month, while all adopted-related issues are important, the focus of this month is the adoption of children currently in foster care. And adoption provides a child with a lifelong positive connection, one of life's greatest gifts. And whereas the month also includes National Adoption Day, traditionally a Saturday, which is observed in courthouses across the nation, where thousands of adoptions are finalized simultaneously. And whereas adoption provides a unique experience that positively impacts children and enriches the lives of adopted families. Last but not least, let us pay tribute to those special families who have opened their homes and their hearts to adopt children, forming bonds that we can call family now. Therefore, we, the Walton County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim November as National Adoption Month. In doing so, we urge all citizens in the national effort to raise awareness of the importance of adoption for foster children and all children needing safe, loving families. Proclaim the 7th day of November, 2023. David G. Thompson, Chairman, Walton County Board of Commissioners. And we have the signed proclamation. If someone is here representing, we would love to present it and take a picture. Let me come around there. Thank you.
Just gonna see if you wanted to stand down there. You want to stand down there and read the other two, so you won't have to
So
go
I won't
back
have
and
to
forth.
walk so much. I can do that. By the Chairman of the Board of Commissioners, County of Walton, Georgia. Whereas the Governor of the State of Georgia has proclaimed the day of Sunday, November 5th, 2023, as Retired Educators Day in Georgia. And whereas there are more than 142,000 retired educators in Georgia, 32,000 plus of whom are members of the Georgia Retired Education Association. And whereas the retired educators of Georgia donate thousands of hours of volunteer service and make invaluable contributions human lives and for society. And whereas local churches will recognize those lasting contributions made by retired educators in this community now. Therefore, I, David D. Thompson, Chairman of the Walton County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim the day of November 5th, 2023 as Retired Educators Day. And I call upon the citizens of Walton County to observe this day in an appropriate manner, honoring retired educators. And yes, we know that was a couple days ago. Given unto my hand and seal at the historical Walton County Courthouse in Monroe, Georgia, on the 7th day of November, in the year of my Lord, 2023. And there's someone here from, and I apologize, in the October meeting to make it official. Oh, we have a crowd. Who's going to accept the, all right. I don't want to block anybody. There we go. And we do appreciate all the educators. Thank y'all very much. Okay. Third proclamation is Copy Day. Whereas America is the land of freedom, preserved and willingly and freely by citizen soldiers. Whereas millions have answered the call to arms, have died on the field of battle. Whereas a nation at peace must be reminded of the price of war and the debt owed to those who have died in war. Whereas the red poppy has been designated as a symbol of sacrifice of lives in all wars. Whereas the American Legion Auxiliary has pledged to remind America annually of this debt through the distribution of the memorial plaque. And whereas Mona Bell Michael, who conceived the idea of using poppies as a symbol of remembrance, was born in Walton County, Georgia in 1869. Therefore, I, David D. Thompson, Chairman of the Walton County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim the 11th day of November, 2023 as Poppy Day, and that all citizens pay tribute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the name of freedom by wearing the memorial poppy on this day. In witness whereof I have here unto set my hand and cause to be affixed the official seal of Walton County the 7th day of November, 2023. Well, please come up. We won't be able to be good at this. So many have died for our freedom. Thank you so much.
Lee.
Now for the real exciting part of board meetings, planning and zoning recommendations. Thank y'all so much for coming.
Okay, our first case is 5.1, denial of conditional use 23070023. This is a conditional use for a church fellowship hall. And then AZ 23080017 to change the entrance to Esco Drive. The applicant is Southern Elite Contracting. The owner is Kanawha Catholic Association of Georgia, Inc. Property is located at 6493 Esco Drive, and this is in District 2. So at the Planning Commission, again, they asked for, this is members of the church. This is not the church, but it's the members of the church that want to use this property as a part of their functions that they do. They want to be able to build a fellowship hall that will be utilized on Saturdays and Sundays. There were 4 individuals that live down Esco Drive that spoke with concerns about increased traffic and noise. The Planning Commission recommended denial of the request, and the motion was unanimously approved.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, I'm going to open a public hearing on this application and ask if the applicant is here or their representative would like to get up and tell us what they would like to do. Is Southern Elite Contracting here, or please come forward. And tell us your name and where you live first, and then tell us what you want to do.
My name is Dominic. I live in Laurenville, very near to this property. The main point what I would like to say is the traffic will not increase on Esco Drive. Since we are using church parking and walking across to the property almost all the time, and that is only on Sundays we use this one. Since ours is the first property from Rosebud Road, there is no way the neighborhood will be disturbed. Esco Drive will not have more traffic as feared by some of them. We have only 40 members, active members. There's no crowd there. We use it very rarely, that too mainly on Sundays only. We have very few, 2 or 3 elderly and handicapped people who must use the Esco entrance very rarely in a year to enter the property. This entrance is needed mainly for delivery agents and emergency services, and it is a must. A good-looking brick entrance will increase the image of our neighborhood. So the neighbors should be really happy to have such a beautiful compound or entrance to that place. If this property is maintained well and if there is development, it will enhance the value of nearby property. That's what we feel. And in the future, we are planning to have a walking trail which can be used by the neighbors also, because though it is not a church property, it belongs to the people of the church. The property belongs to the people, and that is why the church doesn't want to give us an official entrance from their compound to our compound. So this entrance from the Esco Drive will not hinder, or it will not be a disturbance for the neighbors. That's what I really wanted to say, and kindly request you to grant a official entrance from Esco Drive. And we already have an official entrance, just to use it for this purpose.
Okay. Are there any questions from the board right now? All right, thank you, sir. Is there anyone else in the crowd in support of this that would like to make a statement? Well, let's come one at a time, and please don't repeat the same reason. I mean, I understand a large part of the congregation is here today, so.
Good evening. My name is Biju Lucas. I'm also the member of this association. Technically, the association owned this property over 3 years. We never caused any trouble or disturbance to the neighbors. And now it's the time for us to do some improvement for the property. So we never, I assure that since we moving forward in the future, we don't cause any disturbance to the neighbors. In fact, as Dominic said, the property became useful, and that will add the value to the neighborhood. That is my humble opinion. And I request the board members to give the permission to give the official entrance for the emergency use for ambulance, or we have a very few disabled people in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, who is next would like to speak in favor? We have, now in favor, not in opposition. We'll let the opposition go in a minute.
I'd like to say good evening, first of all. My name is Frederick Green, and I'd like to say that me and my wife support this. You know what I mean? We live in the community, we stay close by, and we just support these because they don't never do nothing wrong. They're always on our side, so we should support them.
Appreciate you coming forward. All right, next, please.
Good evening, everybody, and board members. My name is Jacob, and I live nearby in Gwinnett County, but very close to Loganville. And I'm also a member of this community. And this community has been at this present location for more than 10 years. And if you check the records, there has not been a single incident where this community has been disturbing any of the neighbors. So, the proof, as they say, is in the pudding. If this community has been in existence at the same location for more than 10 years and has not caused any kind of issues in the community, but only bring more business to the area. You know why? Because I'm a realtor. I've been a realtor for more than 20 years. And I'm getting calls from out-of-state people who are looking to move in as the developments happen in the community, that people would like to move in from other states. Why? Because they want to be part of this growing community. So I request, Your Honor, that we kindly do the needful to have the permit granted for us to use that property. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, next. Please come forward. We have one coming right now.
Hi, good evening, all board members. My name is Tommy Kurian. I am also a community member, belongs to this church, and we believe in a Catholic faith. And I want to tell you that if you guys provide an opportunity to build a fellowship there, definitely we can attract our kids, bring it to there, because we don't have enough facility to bring our kids according to the present situation. So that will be definitely a motivation for the kids to come to the church and fellowship there. Also, we respect our neighbors. We're never going to make any trouble to the neighbors at all, and definitely feel like it is a need for this next generation. I hope you can understand. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Philip Mathai. I living in Lawrenceville. I am also a member of this community. First of all, I just wanted to introduce my community. This is a Catholic faith community. It's from India, the southern part of India is called Kerala. So most of us professionally, 80% is medical members. We have doctors, nurses, PA, PT, pharmacists. All these 80% are serving in the medical field. So my wife is a nurse, my daughter is a PA, another daughter is a PT. So I seen them every day when they come home. It is kind of sad. One day I seen my wife coming and crying because every day when they going to the hospital, seeing this patient, the pain, the suffering, all these patients, they are seeing each and every day. Some of them are passing away, the relative sadness and everything they are seeing. When they cannot, she told me, I cannot cry there because that is my profession. Even if my heart is burning, I have to smile. So when I come home, this is the time I have to cry. Basically, every Sunday, we coming to the church. We are based on a Catholic church faith. The church is our center point. We go to the church, we worship the God. From there, we just look, one day, we're looking for a relax, to looking on the co-workers, the front face, and have a smile to get together something. So that's all we are asking for, a space, because our church, we don't have enough space. So we're looking for a space so we can get together and we can smile together. We can ask them, hey, how is each and every day? This is it. Every day we coming to the church. My wife told me, we are praying for the patient what we treated last week, and we are asking God, please give courage the patient we are going to be treated on the next weeks. So I humbly request, please, to be consider that we have a place to gather together, at least to look face to face, and we can smile. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I think we've covered about all that. Make sure anyone else here in support has said what they wanted to say. All right, I'm going to open. You've got one more.
So, good afternoon, board members. My name is Joseph Matthew. I'm also a member of this church. So one thing I want to say, so during the last hearing, some of our neighbors concerned about there will be like 400 cars coming through if we allow this to come in. So like Dominic was saying, we only have 40 or 50 members coming to our church regularly. So I don't know where they got this idea. It's like 400 cars are coming through. So that's the only thing I want to say.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, now we'll open it up for anyone in opposition to this application. Please speak now. Come forward and speak, please.
Good afternoon. My name is William Daniel. I live at 6404 Esco Drive. After the planning meeting in October, I had a few questions on this project, so I've done some research. In the planning meeting, the church said they had no interest in giving an easement to this property. So why would the request be to move the church entrance? While looking at the plans, there were more questions. Why was a two-way access for the church planned for? If this building is for occasional use, why does the number of parking spaces match the number of members for the church? On July 12, 2022, permission was given for a small building and used for recreational activities, but all the church traffic had to use Rosebud Road entrance. While the church does not want to give access from their property to this property, they are willing to change their entrance to Esco Drive. If this is allowed, the church traffic would have to use the Esco Drive entrance. With this building being able to accommodate the members of the church, there could be a separation and have two active churches with two different administrative leaders. With the activities that could be held in this building, would money change hands, be rented for special occasions, hold paid conferences? So in closing, if this is approved and built as planned, it would seamlessly tie the two properties together as one entrance via our neighborhood. I would like to say we have a quiet community, and they have been good neighbors. Just a few times I could hear music at my home. I feel with the addition of this type of building, it would entice activities that would be disruptive to our quiet community and undue stress from moving the entrance of the church and activities to Esco Drive. Thank y'all.
Okay, thank you. Is there, please?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. My name is Wayne Cannon. I live at 6413 Esco Drive. I have been there for 30-plus years. And it's a nice community. What I do not understand is with them putting the road, changing their driveway to Esco Drive, our road is not made up to handle all that traffic. We have a hospice house already at the end of our circle, and I'm up all during the night, and there's cars in and out of our road all during the night. I've had to call the law twice because people's walking on our street and they do not belong there. I've had a shooting on our street in the middle of the night. They come around the curve out there and shot up in the air. So there's outside sources coming into our neighborhood. And the other question I have, the building they're asking to build, they have room on their property, on the back side of their property, to build this building and would not need this property or to change the entrance. They have handicapped people, I understand that. I also know their buildings very well, and they're getting them in and out now with no problem, so why do they need to change the entrance to Esco Drive? At any time during the day with traffic on Rosebud, if it backs up from Georgia 20, you have a hard time getting out on Rosebud. So that means there's going to be traffic backing up on Esco. If you have a fire department has to come in there, you have EMS, ambulance, this could create a problem for us. And I also worry about my property value. Is it going to go up or is it going to go down? Because who wants to live somewhere that something like that could possibly turn into an event center, even though they may call it a fellowship hall. So could the other churches be using this building and making donations to the church, like some churches do? And instead of renting it out, they make the donation to the church, and that way they get by some of the rules that apply to some of the churches. And that's it. Thank you very much. I asked you to deny it, please, sir. Thank you all.
All right, thank you. Anyone else here in opposition?
My name is Jack Johnson. I live 6454 Esco Drive. I've been there for over 40 years. And as I brought up at our last meeting here on this, that there are 22 houses on Esco Drive. 20 of them are owner occupied, 2 of them are rental units. About half of the current residents have been there for 40 years. We all moved in, a lot of us moved in when they first put water out there. And at that time, we purchased the property as a residential area, and we're opposed to this. It's going to be turning that corner into a commercial site. Based on the testimony that was given a little earlier about 400 cars. It wasn't said that it's 400 cars. It was to be able to handle 400 people, is what we were told last year when the when this first came up. This, like I say, this is the second time we've been in here on this, and we thought we had it scheduled last year, but apparently not. And as far as being a problem for some of the people in the neighborhood, when they first brought the property, they went in, this was a wooded lot, and they completely cleared it out, and that left 5 houses without a windbreak that they were used to having, and also opened up the lighting from the existing church facility. They've got some outside lights that are bright enough to, when I would be walking at night, the street would be lit up. And that's those 5 houses there, they got those lights shining in them all the time, every night. And that's about all I've got for this time.
All right. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else here in opposition? Seeing no more opposition, I will give the applicant a rebuttal chance to, if he wants to rebut any of the opposition's points.
I really understand the concern of the neighbors that they will be disturbed. As we said, it is 2 different properties. Church is a different authority, church has got a different authority to own that property, and this is owned by the people, the association. So it is 2 different things. And we have an entrance there. We already have an entrance. Of course, it is meant for a residential building. But we would like to build a small enclosed fellowship hall there. And all I can promise is we will never disturb you from our side. We will use that Escoed Drive entrance only for rare opportunities, and very, very rarely, that too just for the handicapped people and emergency purpose. We need an official entrance from there. That's all we want. Because the church, we don't want to use the church entrance as an official entrance. Though we use it every Sunday, we use it. We still use it, that one. We walk across. We park our car in the church property and walk across to this property. That's how we are going to follow hereafter also. But however, we kindly request you to give us an official entrance from this Escoed Road, because, and that will be most of the time, unless and it will be opened only for emergency purposes. I promise. I can write and give you that one. That entrance will be used only for the emergency purposes. On all everyday purposes, there's no everyday purpose, only weekend purposes. The weekend, on Sundays when we come, we just wanted to have a gathering, that's all. And the church does not allow that one inside the church. And we need a separate place for that. That's all we thought of. Enclosed place, that's all. A small one, not a very big one. Please, I kindly request the neighbors to understand us.
Address the board, please.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I never expected, because we already have an entrance to that property from the Escoed Drive, and we are not allowed to use it because it is a special purpose building. That's all. It's a simple thing, but I don't know why neighbors are so much worried about it.
Okay. All right. Does the board have any other questions? I'm going to close this public hearing and ask the board to make a recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, I've lived in this area for a long time and been by this property since they started, a little small church years ago. I've seen it grow over the years, and now they're wanting to build a fellowship hall to be able to get together and worship and fellowship. And I feel like they should have the right to do that. I'm going to make a motion to go against the conditional use denial, and make a motion that we approve this conditional use.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to go against the denial and approve the conditional use. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Any discussion?
Chairman?
Yes.
Any, in that motion, is there any specific use time, weekends, or anything like that, or is it just wide open?
I don't think Mark can hear you.
Is there any, Mark, is there any Saturday, Sunday only, or any restrictions, or?
The only restriction I would think we need to put on it was maybe 11 o'clock curfew. Shut everything down at 11 o'clock.
So I got a question. So is this restricted just to the use of church? I mean, what separates this from being an event facility is my concern, my question. Can they do anything, Mr. Banks, on this property as far as?
You're going to have to repeat it, I can't hear you.
I know, I'm hard.
Okay.
He's asking a deaf man to help me.
What's to
Any restrictions
prevent this being an event center leased out for other events and stuff? He wants to know what would prevent that. You know, I think you're looking at it as fellowship hall for the church.
It's a fellowship hall for the church. If something happens, I feel like at least one member from the church needs to attend and be there just to see actual facilities and make sure. I don't think they want to do anything that would be detrimental to the community, and I think they'd make sure that that happens.
But the church does not own, this is a separate entity. The church doesn't own this property.
The congregation owns the property. The Catholic diocese owns the church, which is a federal, diocese across the United States.
Planning zone, do we need to put in restrictions as far as uses for this? I guess I'm concerned about, do we need restrictions?
That's completely up to the board. I think that a lot of churches that have a fellowship hall will allow birthday parties or, for their members or something like that. Like Commissioner Banks was saying, to be, have someone there that's from the church.
Okay.
This approval is for a fellowship hall. It's not for an event facility.
Okay.
So that's,
Okay, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Very good questions.
In other words, I think what she's saying is they don't have approval for an event center.
Correct.
So if,
Just a
so
fellowship
if they've
hall.
got a conditional use for a fellowship hall, if there's some use that would violate that you would need an event center for, then they could be cited for that.
Okay.
But I look at Center Hill Baptist Church, Sharon Baptist Church, Corinth Christian Church, all have fellowship halls. We don't restrict them. And I'm not looking to restrict any other group.
Any other questions from the board?
If it's all part of the same thing, why are they not allowed to use I'm good with whatever you want to do, but why is the church not allowing them to use the entrance from the church and come across and give them an easement if it's all part of the same thing?
I think they are allowing them to use it. They're just not wanting to officially put it in writing, apparently.
Right. And I just wanted to say there were comments about changing the entrance. This is not changing.
No.
The church still has its own entrance. And then this entrance will be for the fellowship hall. And like the gentleman said, their intent is to, use it for people that are handicapped or disabled or whatever. Of course, an entrance is an entrance, But, they've obligated themselves and said they would only use it when necessary. But it would be an entrance for just this property.
Okay, any other questions? All right, I'm going to call the question. Those in favor of the motion, say aye and show your hands. Aye. Oppose?
No.
We got one no. It passes. It gets approved. Okay, 5.2, approval of CU 23, and I'll let you finish.
Okay. Let me see if I can close this map. I can't find the mouse. Christy, come help me. Drop this thing. Okay, approval of CU 23080024 with conditions. This is a conditional use for an event center. The applicant is Markland Almenard, and the owners are Markland Almenard and Wilner Almenard. Property is located at 5241 Guthrie Cemetery Road and Highway 138. This is in District 3. There were conditions, which I'm going to read as a part of my presentation here. So this conditional use is a request to build an event center for events, weddings, and the house on the property is proposed to be used as lodging for the guests that would use this event center. The access is proposed to be off Highway 138. There was one citizen who spoke with concerns about traffic. The Planning Commission recommended approval of the request with condition that the entrance be off Highway 138 only, and once the residence is used as a part of the venue, the driveway off Guthrie Cemetery Road will be closed. And this was approved unanimously.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to open a public hearing on this application. Is the applicant here and would like to come up and tell us what they want to do, or a representative from the applicant, please?
Hello.
Hello. Please tell us your name and what you want to do on this particular track.
Alrighty, so I'm Olivia Price, and I am on behalf of New Creations Wedding Events. So in our last meeting, you guys said that you wanted to propose that we close off the entrance on Cemetery Guthrie Road, but after speaking to GDOT, they did say that we can use that existing road and then have an extension that leads to.
Let's back up. We guys didn't propose that.
Oh,
That was.
I'm sorry.
That was the Planning
Commission, there we go.
And Zoning Commission.
Okay.
We guys make the final decision.
Gotcha.
All right.
So that board did suggest that we get the information from GDOT to see what they wanted to do or tell us. And they did tell us that we could use Cemetery Guthrie Road's entrance with an extension to the building, or we can do an entrance that doesn't require a turning lane to lead to the actual facility. So they gave us two options.
But you're planning to build a event center and use the residents as housing.
Lodging.
Okay. Any questions from the board? All right, we may have to call you back for rebuttal in a
Okay.
minute. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is anyone else here would like to speak in favor of this application? Is there anyone here in opposition to this application? Please speak now. I see none. So I will close the public hearing and ask the board their recommendation.
I make a motion to approve it with the conditions put by the Planning and Zoning Committee. If the GDOT will not allow them to have a DOT entrance, I think we should allow them to put one off Guthrie Cemetery, but with a turn lane at Highway 138.
Okay. And we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimous.
This thing Y'all, I can't find the mouse. I'm gonna let Christy do it.
Approval LU 23080015.
And Z 23080016.
Right.
So this is going to be a land use change from neighborhood residential to suburban and rezone this 2.70 acres from B2 back to A1 for residential. The applicant is Zurong Zhang, and the owner is Chunggang Gu and Zurong Zhang. Property is located on Highway 138. This is in District 3. And, whoops. Christy, I don't know what I did. But anyway, there was no opposition to this one. They just want to turn it back from being a commercial property to be able to build a single-family dwelling.
Okay.
All right.
All right, I'm going to open a public hearing on this, and are the owners or a representative from the owners here would like to come up and tell us why they want the zoning reverse, please? We haven't get the computer people up here to get the, come on down, they'll get out of your way in a moment.
Is that the last one?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Slide it down our way just a little bit. Get rid of the,
It's on the right.
The golf course down there.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I appreciate the opportunity, for you guys to have me here to present the purpose for us to change the zoning of this piece of property. When my husband and I first, purchased this property, we don't have a quite good idea about what are we going to do. But after we driving around the neighborhood and, walking through the, look at that piece of property, and, in the back is a beautiful, golf course community, and all the surrounding neighborhood are, residential. So it's more, clear mind for us right now. We are thinking, change the zoning of this piece of property to build, a beautiful single residential, for us.
and the property is 2.7 acres?
Yes.
Okay.
So can keep the peace and the harmony of this neighborhood.
It's a perfect home site on the golf course overlooking the lake, it looks like.
There you go.
All right, are there any questions from the board right now? If not, thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Is there anyone else here in support of this would like to speak? Okay, is there anyone here in opposition to this would like to speak? If not, I'm going to close this public hearing and ask the board their recommendation.
I make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Passes unanimous. Thank you all very much. Okay, we move on to the administrative consent agenda. Has everyone had a chance to review the items on it? If there's any questions, now the time to ask them, or I entertain a motion that they be approved.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
We got a motion to approve and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimous. Resolutions, 7.1. Who's going to present the resolutions? This is to improve mental health services for the city of Georgia.
I'll cover that one. On the first resolution on the agenda, this is a request from ACCG for all of the counties to support a resolution involving reform and improvement of mental health services to support these efforts and working with the Georgia legislature on providing funding for many of the impact
Okay. Any questions?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve from Dr. Adams,
Second.
second from Commissioner Bradford. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes. All right, Project Link budgets.
Good evening. 7.2 is the Project Link budget for pickleball courts at Between. I'm asking for $10,000 to get the civil engineers going to do a study to find out how many we can fit there with our parking and current bathrooms.
To enlarge the already existing pickleball courts.
That's right. We're thinking about up to 12, but we're gonna see what, I'm gonna come back with a couple options and I'll have.
We need to engineer it and look at it, okay?
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve, got a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Passes unanimous. All right, Annex 3 renovations.
At 7.3 is a project led budget to renovate Annex 3, which is the green building right across the street. The USD is moving out, and we're looking at renovating the building to house finance and future expansion for HR. They're getting pretty close to outgrowing their little building over here, so asking for $864,750.
How many square feet is that building?
7,725.
7,725.
7,725. It's a pretty big building.
All right, we've been trying to get it vacant for 3 years since I've been in office. All right, any other questions from the board? Entertain a motion on this request.
Motion to approve?
Got a motion to approve?
Second.
Got a second? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimous.
Thank you.
All right, the Splash 2 resurfacing. I think Mr. John needs.
Good evening. 7.4 was a request from the City of Jersey for the resurfacing of Main Street. This is a resolution project length budget for the resurfacing in accordance to the SDS agreement.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve from Commissioner Bradford.
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose? All right, resurfacing subdivision streets.
7.5 is the resolution and project length budget for the neighborhoods that we put out to bid. And I think later we have a, for the record, so.
This is for the record, yes.
Mhm.
Entertain a motion to approve that one.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Opposed? None. Passes unanimous. Okay, Patrice, are you up there? Thank you. She's here. As everyone knows, we've been fighting inflation for the last 3 years. As this chart shows you, 2021, we jumped from 1.4 to 7% inflation. 22 wasn't much better at 6.5. And we implemented pay raises to the employees trying to keep up with inflation. And today we're at 3.7, but the updated numbers I just got in this last week, 4.4. Everyone deals with it. It's just horrific out there. There's a joke going around that the most expensive vehicle you can drive today is a grocery cart. It's getting that bad. So I've proposed a 5% pay raise across the board for all our employees. We still have today 34 full-time empty positions in the sheriff's office, 3 temporary, 5 EMS full-time positions open, 9 temporary, 5 full-time fire still open, 29 temporary, 1 EMA full-time open, and 911, we have 8 full-time positions open. You can say what you want to, but when we start hurting in first responders and emergency, a pay raise is justified. A pay raise justified for all our good employees that are being hit in the breadbasket, just buying groceries and stuff. So I have no problem proposing a 5% across the board pay raise, and I always tell you how much it's going to cost. With benefits, a 5% across the board pay raise would be $2,492,270.80. And Milton, I don't know that you're that good to get it down to 80 cents, but you're pretty good. And we can brag on all departments. This year was one of the most efficient years that Walton County has had since I've been here. The attrition and the employees looking after the county again in their spending, they don't spend all their budget if they don't have to. It goes back in general fund, and that helps everyone, taxpayers, county employees, and those elected officials here. And I'd like to make it open for discussion before any motions are made, because I want to feel how the board feels about it.
When will it take effect, sir?
It will take effect the first full pay period in December, which will be a half a year. So you can cut that number I quoted in half for this budget year. The 2.4 will be 1.2, the remaining of this budget year. We did the pay raise last year at the same time. And I believe that'll be the week before the last pay period before the holidays in December.
It's definitely, I think it's definitely justified and definitely needed, so I'm 100% support.
Well, I don't mind making this motion. I make a motion that we do a pay raise, 5% across the board for all the county employees effective the first full pay period in December.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? Thank you, gentlemen. Now we can tell the sheriffs keep trying to hire these empty positions as well as 911 and EMS. Let me get back to my agenda now. All right, we have a contract, intergovernmental agreement, funding and building a new Azalea Regional Library inside the city limits of Loganville. And this is where John, you want to handle it, or Chip?
Sure. This goes back to the original approval to support the application for state funding for the O'Kelly Library in Loganville. The commission agreed to participate in that application with a unanimous approval by the commission. The nice thing is that in the past, the state provided $2 million in support of funding, but this project received $3 million. And a lot of that was due to the fact that you have local impact fees that are collected from new homes being constructed. Those impact fees are fed into a formula that was determined when the impact fee resolution was adopted. And by moving through that and dedicating and supporting the project in the amount of $1 million, that leveraged us to be able to get the full $3 million from the state to assist Loganville in this project. This is a formalization of that, and it designates a dedication of $1.2 million from impact fees that will be provided to the project.
Okay.
It's already been approved last night, I believe, by the city.
I thought we approved that. This is approving the agreement.
To approve the IGA and the specific amount.
This sets
Okay.
the amount.
Yes, and so the amount is now included in this IGA. I've reviewed the IGA, it looks fine. I understand last night the city of Loganville and the Azalea Regional Library System, they both approved it already, so once you guys approve, then we can send executed versions back and they can move forward from there.
Okay, we need a motion from the board to approve this intergovernmental agreement.
Motion approved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? That one passes unanimous. We
Mr. Chairman, I want to recognize our state leadership for their help in getting us this funding.
I'm sorry?
I want to recognize our state representatives, state senators for helping us get the funding for this project.
Thank you.
I see Representative Martinez in the audience.
Yeah, come on.
Yes, come please, right quick. I'm never going to turn down one of our representatives. We may need something out of you.
Or $3 million.
I will definitely make it quick. On behalf of the state of Georgia, we've been working on this. It's good to have the director here, and of course our board of trustees. But this is something that we've been working on, chairman and commissioners, for a long time, and your support meant so much to the state, and that's why we were able to grant $3 million for the library. So the governor's in support of this. So is 177 legislators and 56 senators, because we did pass the budget, and this was a line item on the budget. But thank you for your leadership on this issue. Thank you so much.
Well, we would like to thank you too. Okay, John, you want to come down and tell us who got the bid of the resurfacing of the streets?
Glad to. After receiving the bids, the low bid was Sunbelt Paving at $753,750. And we actually looked back and found where the county had collected around $150,000 from the bonds, so that'll help offset that cost.
Very good.
These were those unpaved subdivisions that date back to the fallout after the 2008 housing crisis.
Entertain a motion to accept this low bid for the record.
So move.
Got a motion?
Second.
We got a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Passes unanimous.
Thank you.
Okay, we have an appointment to make to the Walton County DFACS Board, and it's recommended that we appoint Tracy Hanson, she's with the Monroe Police Department, to that board.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes unanimous. Okay, John, you can take it for a few minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna hit the high spots on a few things, but we do have quite a few I wanted to make sure you're aware of. First, starting with EMS, the out-of-service and surplus med unit that you approved in prior months has been cleaned up, decals taken off, and that's been delivered to Fish. They will be using it in conjunction with local medical professionals who are volunteering their time to provide medical services to homeless and homebound. The neat thing about this is intended to take off some of the pressure for EMS to have to transport for non-emergency services so that people can get health care at the Piedmont Walton Hospital, as well as taking some pressure off of the emergency room at the hospital. So we felt like this was a creative way of moving forward with a surplus of a vehicle, working with local church organizations to provide that, as well as medical professionals to provide really, I think, a best case scenario of trying to help relieve some pressure at those two choke points in our system. Under Public Works, paving, Breedlove Walk subdivision, Beagle Run, Shepherd's Way have been completed, Stewart Lake subdivision, Stewart Lake Court, Stewart Lake Road. Want to point out our partnership with the city of Monroe through their LMIG paving project for 3, Lakeview Drive, Kelton Road, and Walton Road, all paved for Monroe by the Walton County Public Works Department, as well as earlier highlighted, I think that you can now drive through Jersey without your teeth rattling as much because of the new paving that the Public Works crews.
Now they still have.
But you still need to watch out for your speed humps.
That's right.
Yeah. Center Hill Church Road has also had deep patching completed there. In Parks and Recreation, I wanted to highlight something for you. We've got a new employee, new leisure specialist, Danny Thomas, and they're working on some new programs that I want to point out for you. On November 11th at 9 a.m. at the South Walton Community Center, one of those programs is going to happen, and that's a brand new craft show in Walton County. Already have 52 individual booths going to be set up, and they're really working on expanding some of our quality of life programming around the county, and their goal is to have, starting in January, about 2 different types of programs spread all over the county every single month, similar to that. So you'll see a lot more coming out of Parks and Rec involving that. Another success, Keep Walton Beautiful. On October 21st, the Rivers Alive River Cleanup had over 153 volunteers clean up litter across our roads and waterways, and they collected over 840 pounds of litter on that volunteer service day. If you factor in the average of about $25 per volunteer hour for a volunteer's effort, multiply it out, those individuals made quite an impact, not only drawing that off of paid staff, but at the same time making Walton County much, much more beautiful. So I'd like to commend them for all their help on that. Animal control, we're going to be moving forward. I'm proud to say our partnership and working with the Walton County Humane Society, they have now received their license from the state of Georgia to move forward. And in the not too distant future, we'll be setting up and working with them for them to be able to draw animals as a rescue organization from our kennels to help us assist in getting additional animals adopted. That partnership also resulted in another opportunity, and that's where we've going to be rolling out and working with another organization on a feral cat program. If you look at our statistics, it does look high, but one of the reasons it looks high is because of the number of feral cats. So if you address the number of feral cats through a program such as what's been proposed, we do think that you'll see a significant reduction in the euthanasia rate overall of dogs and cats with the Humane Society and this new program that we're going to be rolling out through animal control. So in addition to that, on December 2nd from 9 to 1 at the Walton County Ag Center, Animal Control is partnering with Planned Pethood, and they'll be providing 200 vaccination microchips and shots for supplies, as well as different things like that for animals in Walton County. There's a limit of 3 per household. But if you haven't had your animals vaccinated, I would encourage you to reach out to Animal Control and look for this free event that's being provided for the citizens. The elections office, obviously, I think you're about 20 minutes past being able to go vote, but the elections office held their elections for all the municipalities across the county, concluding those tonight. 911, we are critically short-staffed in 911. We have our administrative staff pulling 12-hour shifts. We have worked with the 911 director and Melissa in HR, and we've made some short-term changes. In the past, a person working the console in 911 had to be able to answer the phone, dispatch, basically do about 9 to 10 different things all at the same time while every single thing that you could imagine happened. So we did some changing to at least 2 of the positions there to where we're implementing a call taker system, to where we have staff that are dedicated to take the calls, and then they route those to the appropriate consoles to help with some efficiency, but also to look at just trying some additional measures. That's the interim. We are continuing to look at staffing levels and different things that we can do in that department to support our public safety staff across the county. Facilities, it would take probably another hour if I cover everything that Hank's trying to get done right now, and I think we added 3 or 4 tonight. So if you have any questions on any of the facilities, he and his staff are just doing a phenomenal job across the entire county. And we pass every once in a while and get to catch up on that, but it is a significant list, and I'll forward that out. Finally, in finance, Milton, I just wanted to call this out. Milton didn't pass this along, but I wanted to make sure that everybody here, as well as the citizens, knew that we just received this. We're pleased to notify you that your annual comprehensive financial report for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2022, and it qualifies for GFOA, the Government Finance Officers Association Achievement of Excellence in Finance Reporting. The Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition in governmental accounting and financial reporting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by the government and its management. When a Certificate of Achievement is awarded to a government, an award of financial reporting achievement is also presented to the individuals of the department designated by the government as their primary responsibility of having earned their certificate. So just wanted to point that out. There's a lot of things going on. The budget's growing, revenues are growing, projects are growing. We've got 3 of the largest projects Walton County has undertaken, all in process right now, and that's on top of daily operations. And Milton and his entire staff are all handling that, obviously with an award of excellence on top of all of that. And finally, my final thing is just want to wish Commissioner Bradford happy birthday. I think he got to have a family join him a little bit, but in addition to the excitement of a county commission meeting, today is his birthday. So I hope you all will join me in wishing him a happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, John. Any questions from John?
I'd like to say, Milton, great job to you and your staff, and for some of the oversight of the chairman and John of helping get that done.
Appreciate that. Anything else? All right, on to 12.2. We have Commissioner Banks. I'm going to turn it over to him. He is wanting to put forth a name to be considered for the Walton County Public Safety Complex.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Most of you knows and have seen all the progress going on with the public safety facility over here. It's going to be a beautiful facility. We're proud of it. We wanted to have a name that I think is very fitting. And we had a Sheriff Franklin Thornton. He served Walton County from January 1st of 1969 till he died in office February of 1996. He was in his 28th year as sheriff. And maybe not many of you remember him, but he was a great man and what a sheriff you think should be. Lamar Palmer, which also served on this board. Lamar filled out the end of his term, and then Al Yarborough served from 2001 to 2005, which time Sheriff Chapman took over, and he's been the sheriff from 2005 to present. If he finishes his term next year, he'll have 20 years. That's a long time to only have 4 sheriffs. I feel I'm going to propose this, and we'll open it for discussion before I make a motion, but I'm going to propose that we name the public safety facility Joe Chapman Franklin Thornton Public Safety Facility. And I'll open it up for discussion if anybody wants to talk before we make a motion.
Facility or complex?
Complex probably sounds better. That's what it's called now, and it's complex.
That's what we're calling it, public safety complex.
Joe Chapman Franklin Thornton Public Safety Complex.
Okay, it's open for discussion. Does any of the commissioners have a comment to make? Well, I do. I knew Franklin Thornton. I'm one of the older guys here and remember Franklin. He was a great sheriff, and I really admire our present sheriff. Wished he wasn't retiring, so I will support that endeavor.
If there's no discussion, I'll make that a motion.
Well, I got this question. You mentioned Palmer and Yarborough. You gonna do anything to name it after them? What? You just mentioned them because they were the interims as far as in between, or what do you?
He just said you mentioned.
He just named the 4 sheriffs, the sheriffs from.
Okay, I got you.
I got a question. Who was the first sheriff of Walton County?
Who knows? I remember my dad talking about Doc Sarles, and that's as far back as I can go.
Only one I know is the one in Snellville they call Sam Ketchum.
So is it going to be called the
The
Chapman?
other 2 only served 1 term.
Is it going to be what?
Chapman, it's going to be just the last names, or are we putting the first names in as well?
I think he's proposing putting the whole names, Joe Chapman, Franklin Thornton Public Safety Complex.
Sheriff Trammell
Second.
served 1818 and 8 to 1819.
What was the last name?
Trammell.
Trammell, Trammell, Far H. Trammell.
He may be kin to my wife's family.
Do we have a policy on naming buildings after people, Mr. Attorney, or anyone? No policy.
I'm sorry?
Is there a policy on naming buildings after people? There is no policy?
No, not that I'm aware of, sir.
Okay. So there's no criteria?
I mean, you keep going, you have Ulysses Grant on it. Even 2.
I second it. I'm good.
He made it as in the form of a motion now with a second from Tim Shelnut. Any further discussion? I'll call the question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimously.
Abstain.
Kirkland Dixon abstains. All right. I think I'm up next with the defined benefits. I have a statement to read. In conducting a review of the actuarial report for the Walton County Defined Benefits Plan, I have observed that there are significant unfunded liabilities that we need to start addressing now and in our future annual budgets. This situation resulted from a board decision to adopt a plan change to the Defined Benefits Plan on November 6, 2018. This plan change, effective 1/1/2019, resulted in a significant increase to the county's unfunded liability, as well as an increase to their annual payment. This was 2 years before I took office. The plan guarantees a 7% return on its invested assets, including the unfunded liabilities. It's now my fiscal duty to announce this to the public and how we plan to address this. Our recommended payment in the plan this year is $3,032,789. We plan to add an additional $2,667,211 to go to this unfunded liability. Total payment this year, we plan to pay $5,700,000. Then we will budget additional unfunded liability payments above the recommended payments in the future until these unfunded liability balances become manageable. I'm still looking into the details of this plan change. I'm deeply concerned that the Board of Commissioners appears not to be fully informed as to the financial impact of this action. There'll be more to come. And I'll open up any comments about my statements if you want to.
Yeah, I'd like to voice my opinion on this. I guess my chairman had brought each one of us in, and two at the time, so we had to abide by the sunshine laws and brought us up to date on this. And we're all part-time commissioners. We're not here all the time, and we depend on department heads, chairman, county manager to give us information that we vote on.
Sorry.
And I can't tell you how shocked I was when I saw these numbers. How hurt I was that an administration that I had some confidence in, some department heads, would flagrantly mislead us. I'm embarrassed by it. I'm disappointed in it, but I'm mad as hell about it. And everybody on this board should be. Because when you lie to me and you tell me false information, I don't have nothing for you. I'm not calling any names tonight because them names are going to come out sometime in the future. But I wish this board would let the county manager start tomorrow on an investigation into this. And if there's criminal wrongdoing, which I'm not sure there wasn't, I've read a lot of the emails. If there was criminal intent in it, let them serve time in the jail that we're building. I don't have nothing for them. If you was involved in it, I don't have nothing for you. I'll stand behind our employees to the very end, but if you lie to me and you mislead me and you mislead this board, then I cut ties with you. And I've been lied to my face, and I don't appreciate it one bit. So I'll wait for y'all before I make the motion, but I sure do hope this board will let investigation be started tomorrow.
Commissioner Banks, I 100% support that statement.
Any other comments from the board?
I recall agreeing to this proposal, but I never would have supported at the time if I knew it was going to put us in the financial situation that we're facing now.
I think any of us would have.
Well, I think
the question was asked to, and Commissioner Dixon asked the question in this meeting, and ACCG had two representatives sitting on the front row, which is supposed to be representing us. Commissioner Dixon said, "How much will this cost?" They said $200,000 to $400,000. Well, right now it's about 50 or 60 times over that. ACCG sat there and kept their mouths shut and wouldn't even stand up to the board they're supposed to be representing. I don't have nothing for ACCG either. I hope this is showed in their meetings tomorrow.
Well, are you making a motion to direct John to further investigate this?
To go through what authorities he needs to. He can start with a local delegation and let them go as they see fit.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? if we're going to look into this, let's not make any more comments until it's thoroughly looked into, because don't want to impede anything in that respect. We don't have any public comment tonight. Any announcements we need to make?
No.
I got one. We're selling a beautiful building over here on the corner of North Broad and Spring Street. I believe it was built in 1889, marble bank building. The vault is beautiful. November the 15th, here at the courthouse steps, 11 o'clock in the morning. Bring proof you got money in the bank if you want to bid. Minimum bid $700,000, and I'll be conducting the auction. So I'll put a plug in for that, and we do need to retire to executive session, discuss real estate. I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
We got a motion. Do we have a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Thank you. We will have an announcement when we come out, hopefully. So. Nobody but the homeboys still here. And girls. Okay, those of you who are hungry, we need a motion to come back into the regular session.
Second.
All right, we got a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimous. I need to make a motion to replace a motion in our previous meeting, and in lieu of I'll read the motion. I make a motion to acquire, in lieu of condemnation, the Atlantic Coast Conservancy conservation easement in the remaining 112.3 plus or minus acres previously owned by Jacks Creek Reserve, LLC, which is adjacent to the new public safety complex for road right-of-way and future government buildings, and proposes based upon an appraisal value of $1,575,000, which is $14,025 per acre. This replaces the previous, because there was a mix-up on the acres. And I need a motion. I made the motion. I need a second. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? All right. And Kirkland abstains. All right. And entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved. Second.
That wasn't hard to get. Timmy? Yes, sir. Y'all go eat, do whatever you want to do. I'm a poop puppy and I'm going home.
I'm going to chill.
Y'all go.